10 shockingly short WWE title reigns. Number 10, Randy Orton World Title Reign 2004, 28 days. A changing of the guard occurred at the 2004 SummerSlam event, as Randy Orton defeated Chris Benoit to become the youngest world champion in WWE history. Orton was insanely over with the audience, and it was seen as the right time for Orton to win the title. A subsequent babyface turn would follow after Orton was unceremoniously booted out of the Evolution faction, and when Orton was booked to face Triple H in the main event of the Unforgiven pay-per-view, it was an expectation that the game would put his protege over in a big way. However, WWE had other ideas, as the game defeated Orton, and this would bring Orton's title reign to an end in just a lousy 28 days. This decision was blasted by fans as it was way too early for Orton to drop the title, and it was reported that Vince McMahon believed that Orton quote-unquote wasn't ready. These reports did have some credence, as this would be Orton's only world title reign until 2007. Number 9, Becky Lynch NXT Women's Championship 2023, 42 days. Booking a main roster wrestler to go to NXT to win a title is a bold move. Whilst it can elevate the respected division and get more eyes on the NXT product and their stars, it can also be criticized by the fanbase, as it often looks like WWE have a lack of faith in the NXT roster. When WWE booked Becky Lynch to win the NXT Women's title in 2023, it served as one of the shortest reigns of Lynch's career, yet during the reign, Lynch brought a mass rating surge to NXT, and every name she worked with during the reign benefited as a result. Lynch would be champion for just 42 days, yet her matches with names such as Tiffany Stratton and Lyra Valkyria went a long way in helping them get over with the core audience, and it's no surprise that both women speak extremely highly of Lynch's work during the run. Number 8, Christian World Title Reign 2011, 2 days. At last, WWE delivered a world title win for Christian at the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. Now that Christian was finally world champion, it seemed likely that Christian would have a transitional reign as champion, yet this didn't mean that the reign had to be brief. Nobody could have predicted that WWE would make the call to have Christian drop the title to Randy Orton just days later. The title change occurred on SmackDown, and this was during a time in which SmackDown was pre-taped, and when spoilers leaked out relating to Christian's title loss, fans were quite rightly livid. Back in 2011, just a month after dropping the title, this is what the wrestling veteran had to say during an interview with Between the Ropes regarding the fan response. Overwhelming, surprising, flattering to an extent. Also, I think a lot of people go off. It's the age of the internet and spoilers, and people are giving opinions and such before TV airs. The most important thing is that Randy and I put on an amazing match for the fans. Number 7, Triple H WWE Title Reign 1999, 22 days. WWE wanted Triple H to be the top heel in the company in the summer of '99, yet they seemed to get cold feet time and time again. Initially, the game was going to win the title in the main event of SummerSlam, however, due to backstage politics, this finish was changed, and ultimately Triple H would win the title from Mankind on Raw after SummerSlam. This was supposed to be the start of the game's main event push, yet within a matter of weeks, the game dropped the title to Vince McMahon of all people. His second title run shared a similar story, and it was clear that WWE were in two minds as to whether Triple H was truly the right guy. It was when Triple H entered into a feud with Mick Foley in the early 2000s that everything changed, as this changed the opinion of the company as a whole as well as the fan base, and it was collectively agreed upon that WWE had just found their next top heel. Number 6, Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso, WWE Tag Team Champions 2023, 9 days. It was a smart move to pair up Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso in late 2023. The two had tremendous chemistry as an on-screen duo, and WWE booking them to win the tag titles was a way to elevate the tag titles and the division as a whole. This excitement from the fans escalated hours after the initial win, as the two stole the show at the post-Fastlane press conference, and fans couldn't wait to see the more comedic side of the duo explored on TV. Unfortunately, WWE ended the reign in a disappointing 9 days. WWE were clearly of the belief that the two names, specifically Rhodes, was too big for the tag division, when this simply wasn't true. Rhodes still had months to go until the road to WrestleMania 40 started, and the partnership with main event Jey Uso was a perfect storyline to fill the time. Number 5, Roman Reigns WWE Title Reign 2016, 77 days. Sometimes in WWE, real-life scandals lead to them changing creative plans for their titles. In 2016, Roman Reigns was on the run of a lifetime, and he had successfully defended the title in 2 all-time classics against AJ Styles, and now he was set to face Seth Rollins at the Money in the Bank event. And nobody could have anticipated that his reign would come to an end just a few months in. However, Reigns was suspended by WWE due to a wellness policy violation. This forced the WWE to have Reigns drop the title to Rollins on pay-per-view, and then Reigns will be able to take time away from TV whilst his suspension was implemented. Number 4, Jeff Hardy WWE Title Reign 2008, 42 days. Time stood still when Jeff Hardy won the title at the 2008 Armageddon pay-per-view. Hardy had emerged as the most popular name in WWE, and they had to commit to making Hardy the WWE Champion, and after months of teasing the ultimate victory, Hardy had finally realized his dreams. It seemed like a given that he would walk into WrestleMania 25 in 2009 as champion. After all, the show was just a few short months after the Armageddon pay-per-view, and there was no way they would opt to go with a title change just before Mania. However, in one of the most criticized moves of the late 2000s, WWE booked Hardy to drop the title to Edge in his first pay-per-view title defense. They pivoted away from Hardy in a title feud at WrestleMania, and instead they booked a Hardy vs Hardy feud, a feud in which nobody was really crying out for. According to Matt Hardy on his podcast, certain people within WWE were concerned that giving Jeff an extended title run could lead to things going wrong, this of course being a reference to his prior personal issues. I don't know, Vince was open to it, I do know that, but there were probably a certain percentage of the writers and just of creative that were really good on Jeff because he had so much momentum. Things were hot and it was good, and there were some people that probably were worried about Jeff having too long of a run and maybe something going wrong. Number 3, Seth Rollins' Intercontinental title reign at 2018 at 71 days. Seth Rollins would win the Intercontinental title at WrestleMania 34, and Rollins embarked on what is arguably his most enjoyable and consistent title run on the main roster. Although Rollins was given the title for just 71 days, every match he had during his run was a straight up banger. Rollins was bringing the workhorse element back to the title, and his matches against the likes of The Miz, Elias, and Dolph Ziggler were all leading to fans citing the reign as the resurgence of the once prestigious title. This title reign would go so well for Rollins that the following year they would go all out on Rollins and give him a Royal Rumble win and a subsequent world title win at WrestleMania 35. Number 2, Rey Mysterio WWE Title reign 2011, 1 hour and 46 minutes. When CM Punk walked out of WWE in 2011, they needed to crown a new champion, and to determine the new champion, they would hold a tournament on Raw. This tournament would be won by Rey Mysterio, and this was a welcome choice as Mysterio was reliable and still incredibly over with the audience. However, in a move that is still mocked to this very day, John Cena would wrestle Mysterio that very same night and defeat him clean to win the title. This was the laziest booking imaginable, and all WWE could focus on was building towards a Punk vs Cena rematch. There was no harm in extending Punk's absence and giving Mysterio a month or two as champion, yet they couldn't resist rushing to the next developments in their planned storyline. And number 1, Edge WWE Title reign 2006, 21 days. Edge shocked the world in early 2006 when he became the first man to cash in the Money in the Bank to win the WWE title. WWE mastered the presentation of this angle, and they truly couldn't have delivered it any better. And now that Edge was WWE Champion for the first time, it seemed like a certainty that the Rated R superstar would walk into WrestleMania 22 as champion. However, just weeks later, Edge dropped the title back to Cena at the Royal Rumble. Now, there have been rumors for years as to why this was done. The rumor with the most credibility is that WWE had already locked in Cena vs Triple H for the title at Mania, and doing the cash-in for Edge would keep Edge credible ahead of his Mania showdown with Mick Foley, and it wouldn't hinder the legitimacy of the newly created Money in the Bank concept. Even though the disappointment and outrage was completely valid, in the long run it didn't impact Edge's career, as a wrestling great would go on to have a total of 11 reigns as WWE World Champion. But there you have it folks, 10 shockingly short WWE title reigns. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.